Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
On vacation in Hawaii. Quick background: the island I was on has almost no nightlife, most things close soon after sunset, which was around 7 p.m. when I was there, even restaurants and grocery stores. The resort has a 24-hour jacuzzi, but most people down there still bail well before midnight since their bar still runs on island time or whatever. Back to the story. Wake up before dawn and spend all day hiking and shit, only stop for lunch and don't get back to the resort town till after dark. Grab dinner from the bar as they're shuttering and decide to hang out down there for a while since it's nice and quiet. Jacuzzi sounds really nice, only a few people left in it at this point, so I joined them. Those few people were a boomer couple that were silently relaxing together, and a younger woman, in her late 20s, that was sipping her last cocktail. A young woman strikes up conversation almost immediately, asking every intricate detail about the vacation so far. Swap stories for a long time. The old couple is long gone and the resort employees finished maintenance a while before the conversation finally winds down.
Alright, Anon, I'm sick of this bathwater. Do you want to take a walk on the beach?
Wink.jpg. Oh hell yeah. Resorts keep tall hedges between the resort proper and the sand, plus it was a cloudy night, so the beach is incredibly dark, can only see the water a couple feet out before it turns pitch black. Walk with the woman for a while, conversation is less frequent than before, assume she's taking me to her spot, so just following her lead. Out past the strip of resorts now, the beach turns more gravelly and stings my feet. The moon peeks between the clouds and illuminates a shallow inlet where the waves are less intense.
Wanna take a dip?
I don't have time to answer before she grabs my hand and starts wading into the water. It's ice fucking cold, starts shivering immediately. She doesn't seem fazed. She takes us up to our chests. I look back and the shore feels far away. The face when can't swim. The face when thalassophobia. But also horny, so try to be calm. The water is black, I can't see my own body under the waves. A woman lets go of my hand, swims out further and starts playing around, diving and shit. She takes a longer dive, long enough that I start to wonder where she went. Surfaces just a few feet in front of me, real gracefully, barely disturbs the water. Dark as hell, but can tell she's smiling. Starts playfully egging me on to venture deeper. Politely decline, I'm trying to get laid, not rescued from drowning. Her smile turns into a frown. Take a step backwards toward land. She reaches out with both hands, edging closer towards me.
Ah, come on Anon, please?
Puffing her lip out in a pout. She's almost within arm's reach. Feel a brush against the back of my left leg. Reflexively shake it and take another step back, to which something grabs both of my legs around the ankle. I am very not okay. Freak the fuck out, tumble backward. Before my head dips below the water, I swear I see the woman smiling again. Thrash around like a madman, gulp a bunch of seawater, leap back on my feet and haul my ass back to shore as quickly as possible. Crawling on my hands and knees the last few feet. Roll on my back and look out at the water. The woman is gone. Just gone. Lay there heaving for a few minutes, eyeing the water for any sign of her. Nothing. Think whatever grabbed me may have grabbed her. Jog back to the resort, keeping away from the waterline. Check around the pool area for any personal belongings that could have been the woman's. Nothing there. The lost and found area is empty as well. At a loss, head back to my room. Think about what happened. It dawns on me.
It's the closing shift at work. Our store, retail, stays open till 6, but our shitty boss makes us stay later if customers are shopping. I work in the dressing room. As I'm walking to the giftware section, I see a customer in the shoe section. A tall woman with a thin face, long hair. Something immediately feels off. I ignore it, just waiting for her to pick out a pair of shoes and leave so we can close. 4 or 5 minutes passed. I leave for less than a minute to go help another customer. I go to check on the lady, she isn't there. Oh good, now we can close. Go up front, see that my coworkers are all talking. Hey, did that lady check out? All of them look at me weird.
What lady?
I describe her. Everyone says they haven't seen her leave. I go recheck the dressing room, shoes, and giftware. She's nowhere to be found. I get this horrible feeling in my stomach. I'm scared shitless as I go to bring hangers to the back. Coworkers had already turned off the front store lights, just waiting for me to come back. As I approach the horde of empty boxes we put hangers in, I see a pile of clothes on the floor. Check the tags. They are definitely not clothes we sell. Smelt horrible, like someone hadn't washed them in months. Decides to throw the clothes away despite knowing I shouldn't. I scope out the rest of the back despite not wanting to. Don't find any customers hiding or signs someone came in through the back door. Tries to forget it, goes up front, walks out with coworkers. Coworker goes to get in her car, letting out a huge gasp. There is a pile of bloody human shit right next to it. We all check it out, and confirm it's definitely too big to be dog shit. Looks closer. There's large chunks of glass and hair in it. Literally WTF. Everyone is laughing, but I'm scared shitless. I don't say anything about the clothes I found. I still think about it every time I have to bring hangers to the back.
Living in the city, just outside of it actually, in what used to be the warehouse district. Nice town homes and brand new lofts nestled up against old rundown buildings. I'm renting a unit in one of the town homes. It's pretty cozy. Only weird thing is a huge community of hobos that hangs out nearby. They basically live at this now defunct railroad station. This rundown station is uncomfortably close to where they built the new metro line. I sometimes hop the line to a brewery not far from my place. Gets creepy at night because the area is totally silent except for the sound of these homeless dudes shuffling around and whispering in the dark behind me. Spooky. But it's Texas, always pack heat, friends. So anyway, one day a new guy moves into my place. Never seen him before, never saw a U-Haul at any point. It's like he just waltzed in with no worldly possessions, just the shirt on his back. This guy stood out like a sore thumb, too. Everyone in my building is white, except for one very young Asian couple. The new guy is black. I try to start a convo with him a couple of times. He's polite, but I can tell he doesn't like me asking about his personal life. I'm a private guy, too, so that's okay. I do notice that he's got an accent but not sure from where. Might have been African or Haitian. I don't know, I'm bad with that shit. I also notice he works nights. Always leaves well after dark, gone all night, comes back just before daybreak. When I'm getting ready for work, he keeps to himself, so I just forget about him. I get used to hearing my neighbor coming and going. One night when he leaves, I happen to be looking outside. My unit window faces the metro line. I'm watching the gang of hobos shuffling around in the dark, wondering how the fuck I can get rid of them. See my neighbor walk out towards the metro station. Stands there for a while. Then somehow I lose sight of him. Figure he walked to the far end of the station or something. It's much darker over there, and forgot about it. Put on some X-Files, eat some pizza, then call it early night. Fast forward. I decided to hop the line over to that brewery one night. Make my way to the station. Wait there a bit. Notice I don't hear the homeless dudes. Look back at the old train station. There's nobody there. The city must have finally gotten rid of them somehow. Fuck them. Hop the line, get off at the brewery, and have a couple of beers. When I'm feeling nice and toasty, I head back to the rail line. At the station, a homeless man approaches me. He asks for change. Normally I ignore these guys, but he stutters really bad when he talks and I look at him. His eyes are huge circles. He says,
"Please man, please, anything you can spare."
Stuttering the whole time like he's freezing his ass off. It's late spring in Texas, not cold at all. Like I said, I ignored these guys, but somehow I felt really bad for this dude. I didn't have anything on me except a crisp $5 that the bartender gave me as change. Fuck it, I give it to the guy. He grabs it and immediately takes off running down the station like he just robbed me. Fucking crackheads. I hop onto the metro and ride it back home. Hop off the metro. Not a soul at the station. No hobos lurking in the shadows. Feeling nice and safe and buzzed. But I begin to notice the sound of someone following me. Glance back. Nobody there. Keep hearing like footsteps at a distance behind me, but every time I look I don't see a soul. Must be an echo. Or maybe I'm drunk. Either way I make it back to my place safely. Shower and head to bed. Wake up the next day. I discovered my neighbor's unit is now vacant. Again, I never saw him leave, no U-Haul or anything. Just poof, gone. Weird. Maybe he broke his lease? Oh well, not my business. Later that night, decide to hit up that brewery again. I'm heading out when I see something's been slipped under my door. Bend down to pick it up. It's money, a crisp $5. Think back to that hobo, how scared he looked. Think about the missing hobos at the old train station. Think about it. Nah, that's crazy. Pocket the $5. Make my way down to the metro. Head to the brewery. Grab a couple of beers and tip the bartender the $5. When I'm nice and buzzed I hop the rail headed back home. The station is totally empty when I get back. Not a soul in sight, and I'm feeling good and buzzed. The walk back to my place is nice and quiet. And safe.
Be me 3 years ago. Homeless, crash outside McDonald's, because sometimes people give me food or they leave fries in the bottom of their bag when they throw it out. Man in a hoodie, face mask, unusual for back then because no plague, and glasses, comes up to me. Says he has a deal. I hold something for him out of sight and stay by McDonald's for 5 more hours. He says he will give me $100 cash. I think it's bullshit, but who cares, I'm always here anyway. Man hands me small box, maybe 10 centimeters length, 6 centimeters width, 5 centimeters tall. Box is warm. I put it in my bag and he walks off. 5 hours later man returns. Gives me $100 cash in return for the box. Asks me if I'd like to do this again. I say, sure. For the next 4 weeks every day he brings this box. Sometimes during the 5 hours he comes and swaps it out for another one randomly. Box is a great hand warmer on cold days. One day he comes in. Says this is the last time I can do this. I'm sad because no more free money after today. He hands me the box and walks off. Start to think about life, what I'm going to do now. He gave me so much money and I blew it all like an idiot, and I'm still homeless, and this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and I wasted it. This time he is hours late. When he arrives he hands me a rubbish bag in return for the box. Walks off without another word. Bag has loads of cash in it. I can't believe my eyes. Book a hotel room to count it because it's just so much money. After counting there is $75,000 in cash in the bag, all in 20s. Used the money to turn my life around. I'm no longer homeless and have a job at Walmart. What the fuck was the box? It rattled when I shook it and it was decently warm.
Be me. Going to university, living in an apartment with 4 other guys. L has his own room. C and D share a room. I share one with B, hanging out in living room. Lights off, listening to a spooky podcast with L, C and B. Start talking about ghosts and spooky stuff. D walks in and tells us he feels a presence in the place. We are in the oldest apartments on campus and the campus is built on tribal land. He proceeds to tell us this story. BD, walking through the forestry area to get somewhere with friends. Says he felt off. Learns later that there was a cemetery near that spot. Thinks he's spiritually attuned and shit. Also says he's like 1/60th Native American. Also said at one point that owls are his totem spirits. Anyway, he says that he also saw a shadow move behind him while he was on a Zoom call. We laugh it off because he's kind of a redneck. We all feel a little uneasy, because the apartment is extremely dark due to blackout curtains and also it doesn't face direct sunlight due to trees. This is in October. Plan to leave early somewhere with L. C and B get up at 6 a.m. L opens his door, immediately says he saw something last night. The fuck.jpg. Are you serious? What did you see? L wasn't the type of guy to just lie for no reason. He also isn't very into the paranormal.
I woke up at 4 a.m. for some reason, looked towards the doorway. The door was still closed, but I saw a figure standing there. I thought it was you, had the same general body shape and facial hair.
L has his own room and the only key in, so there was no way it was me. Ask, so like did it acknowledge you in any way?
Nah, just was there, didn't look or anything.
At this point we all leave the apartment and hang out. I always wanted some kind of first-hand experience, but having someone tell you the ghost they saw looks like you is a strange feeling. We joke around more about it, still a little uneasy. Do the typical movie thing and Google to see if anyone committed self-kill in the complex. No real info turns up. Mention this event to our neighbors in the apartment next to us so they can burn sage or whatever. One says,
"Oh shit? Really? I woke up the other night at 4 a.m. cause I felt off, like a presence or something."
She says this before we mention that this occurred at 4 a.m. I found this next part out after everything, but chronologically it fits here. L, C, B and neighbors hanging out in the living room. L's room door is right behind the couch. C tells me, he didn't want to mention it at the time because he didn't want to freak anyone out, but he heard heavy pacing footsteps coming from the empty room. About a week passes. Sitting in the living room with C and just talking at about 10 p.m. B comes out of our room.
Hey, did you just go into the room?
Nod, just talking to C.
Well, I was laying in bed, and I turned around cause I heard you moving around in the room. I looked over, and I thought it was you moving shit on your desk.
The fuck.jpg. More time passes, about a week out from Halloween now. Hanging out with friends, one guy is a fan of the paranormal. Ask him if he has any ideas what it could be. I was leaning towards it being some kinda memory imprint type ghost because the buildings are old and have been used for a long time. I really just didn't want to admit it could be a doppelganger.
Yeah, that sounds like a doppelganger, Anon.
We reason maybe it's because the barrier is thin during this time of year. Decide to sleep the other direction, so even if I woke up at 4 a.m. I would be facing away from the main room. While I had spent many nights in the dark in hopes of seeing something in the apartment, the prospect of seeing my own doppelganger was weird. Halloween came and went, saw nothing. Not sure how I feel about all of this still. Part of me wonders if I caused this. At the time I was dealing with some identity problems, like who I really am and shit like that. I'm now in a better head state about all that stuff and no more spooky shit.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more green texts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.